We're joined by Becky Lynch, WWE
Welcome,
Superstar.
Becky Lynch.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah.
Are you having an amazing Comic-Con?
An amazing Comic-Con. This is my third year in a row coming here.
Nice.
And yes, I need to make it a streak because I have such a great time. So amazing seeing all the new action figures and the excitement of everyone that's here and the cosplays, and I could just go on.
Yeah,
you know.
and at your signing just below, down there, we saw that there's an actual comic print of you that you're signing, which is
Yes.
the best. You've been turned into a comic book character.
Like, there's certain things that you always dream of in your life, but you don't actually think that they're ever going to happen. And there they are in print form, and it's just mind blowing. It's that emoji. It's the head explosion emoji.
Or
yeah.
like the happy hands.
Yeah.
Is that what those
Yeah.
are? I don't know.
I always think they're a hug.
Oh, a hug,
They're
like
a
a
hug.
hug,
Yeah.
a getting ready hug.
Open to
Yeah,
interpretation.
come on.
I like it.
Bring it in.
I was
Little
asking
arms.
AJ Styles and Kurt Hawkins and Matt Hardy yesterday about having action figures of yourself and how cool that has to be. What was your reaction the first time you saw a Becky Lynch action
I
figure?
think I cried. Yeah, I think I cried because that was one of the goals. You know, when you start off at wrestling, like you have several goals. And just in life, I think everybody wants an action figure of themselves, you know? But so my goal was obviously to be a playable character in a video game, which is one milestone. Obviously, you want to get to WrestleMania. You also want to main event WrestleMania, still working on that one. You want to win a championship, and you want to be an action figure. And to now have several, well, that's just unbelievable.
I mean, the rest is definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Absolutely.
Some of those, you've got like, I want to see like your giant board in your house. It's like when you check them off, like sparkles and explosions should happen.
Or like you have like maybe shelves on the wall, like levels in a video game, and every time you reach a level, you just put like a representation on the shelf
Oh, what do you think the representation would be?
for the action figure.
Yeah, for the goal.
Oh, you mean like when you reach to the top?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Ooh.
pyrotechnics.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But
I
like,
like
you
it.
know, laser ones, so your house doesn't catch on fire.
Absolutely.
Holograms.
Okay. Yeah.
Holograms.
Oh,
Holograms.
The way of the future.
Yeah,
Yes.
a hologram of Vince McMahon just being like, good job.
That would be
Right?
amazing. Yes.
That's pretty
How
cool.
close are we to that in
I
technology?
feel like we could get that done. There's
that could
Marvel Studios
happen.
visual artists downstairs, development artists downstairs. They could figure that out.
We will
lads,
hit
all
them
right.
up.
I,
yeah.
I don't have that much room in my place, but you know, I think that we can all combine and
Yeah.
figure something
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
We'll make it work.
holograms take up no room, so you are
Absolutely.
all good.
That's true, but I'm just wondering if there's like some sort of a system of technologies, like on a board. I feel like there would have to be some sort of big board.
Oh, like a console
yeah,
or something.
you know, to laser in the hologram. I don't know how holograms work. This is fascinating to me.
It's light and
Yeah.
But
light.
but there's got to be something to control the holograms.
Sure.
They've
I'm
gotta-
looking
We don't like to
around
talk
at
about that. That's
our
where it gets scary.
producers team, and they're just like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can't just appear out of
No,
nowhere. Then.
unfortunately.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are, of course, WWE superstar. How long have you been on the main roster now?
This is 3 years. This was almost actually 3 years a couple of days ago. Maybe last
Congratulations.
week. Was it last Thursday? 3 years to the day. And it was 5 years the day before that I started in NXT the very first day that they opened the Performance Center. So a lot of anniversaries now, and being on the main roster for the past 3 years, and then being able to come to Comic-Con every single year has just been wonderful. And it's so cool because every year I do a panel, and fans ask me about what the next progression is for women's wrestling, and every single year we've exceeded expectations, and I get to come back, and we've had ladder matches, and we've had elimination chambers, and it just feels like a marker of how we're growing in terms of my own psyche.
Yeah.
if
That's so
anything
exciting.
else. Yeah.
So you grew up watching wrestling and wanting to be a wrestler. I'm from the 80s, so is Ryan. We remember those wrestlers. Who were your favorites?
So when I was younger, it would have been like Hulk Hogan and The Ultimate Warrior. And then I went for a stint of not watching it, and what hooked me back in was Mick Foley, because he would cut these incredible, you know.
Oh, I'm with you 100%.
Yes. like these incredible sympathetic promos, and he wasn't the most athletic, and I wasn't athletic. I failed PE, and so I could identify with him, and just, you know, not being maybe the most built person, or, you know, the most handsome or whatever, but he just had that, and I'm not, I hope Mick doesn't get offended by me saying that.
Mick's just crying, watching the live stream.
Like, what a handsome man, you know, but yeah, you know, of course.
He's wonderful.
I'll digress. Anyway, so just the sympathy with which he cut these promos, and you just felt for him, and just how much he was willing to put his body through, and he wouldn't always say that he was going to win, but that he would make somebody bleed and he would make them hurt, and he always delivered on that, and that was something that I took and I put into my own promos and my own.
When I think about storytelling in comic books, I often think about storytelling in wrestling, because wrestling is very similar in that you have an ongoing narrative. It's a story-based entertainment form that continues forever. It's like soap operas, wrestling, and comic books are very similar in the way that they tell their stories. Heroes come and go. Heroes change. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. There are betrayals, there's love, there's loss. And so when I think about comic books and I think about our stories, I often think about, oh, well, this happened in wrestling, and the emotions that we go through as fans, and you can find that, and that's what I love about fandoms in general.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it comes down to any sort of storytelling. You know what I mean? No matter what the story is, it's all a similar formula, and I bring everything back to wrestling, and you could just bring it back to comics. It's whatever you feel most passionate about, but it's the same story told throughout the age of time. Yeah.
It's an age-old hobby, storytelling.
It really is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. And whatever art form that is, it's just fantastic to come to life and then to be able to appreciate it in different realms.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What's the story with the bear arms?
You are decked out, and I like it.
So, here's the thing. I was online years ago, and I saw this jacket, and I was like, well, I must have this jacket because it's got teddy bears on it. But then it's one of those things in practicality, where are you going to wear your teddy bear jacket? And I feel like the place to debut it is Comic-Con. Because,
Perfect.
yeah, nobody's going to judge you. And of course she would be wearing teddy bears on her arms at Comic-Con.
Yeah. It looks great.
Yeah.
You could probably also wear this in New York City and no one would bat an eye.
Do you think so?
Yes, I do.
I was walking to the subway home, real quick. I was walking to the subway home the other day, and I'm walking, and there's a gentleman wearing nothing but a piece of cloth on a certain area, and he's just going by, he's happy as a clam, and there's a woman in front of me, and she stops, and she looks at me, and I'm like, it's New York.
New York City.
Yeah.
That's what I love about New York City.
Yeah.
What a great place. Yeah.
It's a wonderful place. It's our hometown. You, of course, would be welcome there with your bear jacket, which I just noticed has actual sleeves. I thought it was like a boa situation.
No. It's actually.
This is a full-on jacket.
Full-on jacket.
I'm.
These are my bugs.
I love it. She has the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
Oh,
See what I did? See what I did?
That's good. When you're traveling, do you get to explore towns and see like cool things? Is there something that you look for every time you go somewhere?
So yeah, and that's my favorite thing about being on the road is I'm a Yelp fiend. So anywhere I go, even days before I go there, I'm on, okay, where's the best breakfast place? Where's the best coffee place? A gym, of course, but doesn't interest me as much as food. And then let me find a local little good spot, vegetarian options, homegrown, things like that. And and that's one of my favorite things about going to these towns. And the great thing about that is when you go to these places and you step outside the box instead of just going to regular chains, then I think you get you gain more of a relationship with the town. You're like, oh, I can't wait to go back there because they had that really great spot where I had those great pancakes or whatever else it is. Or that really great quinoa.
Oh, nothing beats a good quinoa.
Exactly.
So as a wrestler, do you have any signature moves?
Yes. So
Please tell me. I need to know what they are.
So my finisher is the disarmer, which is like an arm bar, but you're tied up in all sorts of ways.
Wow.
Very hard to get out of it once you're in it. It's just either you get to a rope situation or that's it. Your arms, you're tapping and you're done.
I mean, arm bars by themselves are pretty serious business.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, arm bar, and usually it's game over.
Absolutely.
And then a series of suplexes that I call Bexplexes. So whatever suplex
I was going to bring up the Bexplex because
Yes.
it's just so versatile and so great.
Yes.
It rolls off the tongue.
And you can
You
get
deliver
it out
it really
anywhere.
well.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then arm drags. I'm a big arm drag aficionado.
Man, I
Love that word.
I love watching Steamboat Savage WrestleMania 3 because the arm drags in that match, I could just watch those over and over again. I think we just got
Steamboat's-
super deeply nerdy wrestling.
No, Steamboat's
No,
arm
do
drags
it, it's great.
freaking believable. I'm thinking of a Steamboat Jake the Snake Roberts match. Do you remember where Steamboat brought out the crocodile? I can't remember what year that is. But anyway, just hell of a match.
Yeah. Go to the network
hella
and
good
watch
arm
it.
drags. Yes,
Yeah.
go to the network.
Becky Lynch, you're probably wrestling this weekend, I'm sure.
Yes, I start in St. Louis, Springfield, Illinois, which I'll be happy about because of The Simpsons. I'm not sure if it's the same Springfield or not. Carbondale, Illinois, and then Evansville.
Very good.
Very excellent.
I suggest anyone watching, go to a live WWE event, a live wrestling event, see it in person. It is magical. It is wonderful. Thank you, Becky, for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you guys for having me.